and things that you want to use to execute your retreats. Cool? Okay. How are we feeling? Feeling good? Okay. Okay. So I first want to start off by saying, thank you for being here. Thank you for coming and spending your day with me and learning all about how to add not just a retreat to your business, but a profitable retreat. I'm so excited that you guys have chosen to let me take up some space in your little corner of the internet. I am honored and I do not take that for granted. So quickly, who this training is for, this is for anyone who has been dreaming up hosting a retreat on your Pinterest board, but you just have no idea where to start. It's for anybody who actually wants to make a profit from retreats, because let's be honest, we are business owners and we want to make some money and we want to do it in a very authentic and aligned way. And it is for those who love to have that creative input in your retreat and you don't want to hand the reins over just to an agency. So we're going to give you all of our tips and tricks as an agency, because for those of you that don't know, we also run a full-time event planning and retreat planning agency where we are fully booked with clients planning their retreats for them. So it's not just that we're a coach and we know how to do this, like we do this on a day-to-day basis for our clients, and we're handing our complete process over to you guys. So I'm really freaking pumped to do that. So in the next 45 minutes, we're going to get super clear on exactly what shifts I need you guys to make in order to host this profitable retreat of your dreams. I'm going to share the secret to pricing and selling out your tickets. We're going to reframe what actually needs to happen in order for your retreat to be a success. We are also going to share with you what you're doing wrong with your marketing and what you have to be doing instead. I'm going to teach you how to launch a retreat, even if you have a smaller audience, and then we're going to build out your dream retreat that seamlessly fits into your current business. How does this sound? Good? I mean, it sounds pretty good to me. I poured my heart and soul into this training, so I'm really excited to share this with you guys and give you everything you need to know about retreats in the next 45 minutes. Okay, going to pop into the chat super quickly. I'm a VA and I currently support my clients in hosting retreats, women in mentor, and simply want to learn more, expand my horizon, and be able to better support. Love it. I own a company, graphic and web design. I would like to host a retreat with women business owners who have certain barriers such as chronic pain. Oh my God, I love how niche you are. That is going to work in your benefit. I hold a lot of my retreats in Canada. Oh, that's cool. Anon2441, are you Canadian? Or do you just bring your retreats up to Canada? Because if you just bring them here, then thank you for the support. But if you're Canadian, make sure to ask a question later for me to touch on the legalities of retreats in Canada, because they are quite strict. Okay, let's keep going. So my big promise to you is that by the end of this webinar, you are going to have full clarity on exactly what you need to do in order to bring your retreat vision to life and how to make it profitable, because there are two sides to the story. There's bringing a retreat to life where you end up spending money, and then there's bringing the retreat to life where you end up profiting, whatever that profit margin looks like for you. And I'm going to teach you the process you need to do to profit $10 or to profit $100,000, whatever it is that you guys want to profit. We're going to teach you the formula and how you have to do that. Cool. But before we get in, I want to quickly talk about some house rules. This training is not for anyone that is not willing to do the work to make your retreat dreams come true. One thing that we hear all the time is that people just expect to like snap their fingers and their retreat come to life. And that's just not the reality that we're living in. Retreats do take some work, and they do take some effort, and they do take some strategy. So if you are not at the place where you're willing to put in some work, I would not be offended if you popped off right now. Please don't, but I would forgive you if you did. Hey, Lindsay. This is also for people that need to understand that a successful retreat doesn't just come together overnight. You have to be willing to reframe. There is so much education and so much content out there right now that teaches you how to plan a retreat, how to host a retreat. And I'm going to be super honest with you guys. I disagree with a lot of it. I don't think it's necessarily coming from the perspective of an event planner who does this day in and day out. And we often are getting messages in our DMs and people coming to us and saying, I don't care what it costs. We need to hire you to save us because we took wrong advice and we ended up in the hole, or no one came to my retreat and I ended up spending $10,000, $20,000 to get myself out of the hole. And I don't want you guys to be in that position. So let's get our heads on straight and understand that this successful retreat is going to take some reframing for you guys in your mindset. And then this is also not for anyone who's looking to make retreats a revenue stream while ignoring the attendee experience. A lot of what I'm going to talk about today is attendee experience, and bear with me, I promise you there's a point to it, and it is going to come full circle and help you understand how that actually does make you more money in the long run. And then if you are not authentic in your approach, this also won't work for you. I feel like and it's making me so happy that the whole online space is shifting away from that inauthentic approach, and we are starting to approach business and retreats and travel and all of the things from an authentic perspective, but we are still seeing people that are doing it that are not authentic. And I just want to warn you guys that if you are not authentic in your approach, this is not going to work for you. Cool? Okay, now let's do a quick temperature check. You guys have already been so amazing and engaging in the chat, letting me know who you are, where you're from, and what you're looking to do. But I want to know, like, what is the main reason you want to host retreats? Is it so that you can travel? Is it so that you can add that additional revenue stream, create impact? Like, I really want to understand why. I'm hearing all of this amazing stuff about what you do, but I want to know why you want to do it. Is it money, travel? Share with me in the chat the reasons behind your why of hosting your retreat. Abby, when you say finding a margin you want, do you mean like a profit margin? And are you struggling with like the formula to get there, or just understanding like the mindset behind it of knowing what you should be profiting from a retreat? Let me know and I will answer that question for you. Build a community, connection, and travel. Okay, so we can travel and explore the world. Love it. That's why a lot of people want to do retreats, is so you can gather with like-minded people all throughout the world. I love it. Okay, let me know if this sounds like you guys. So you have been dreaming, sorry, I got distracted by the chat there. You've been dreaming of hosting a retreat, but you genuinely have no idea where to start. Hand up, raise your hand if that's you. You want to make a profit from your retreat, but you don't know how that's even possible. Because when you sit there and you look at the numbers and what you feel comfortable charging, you're like, this literally makes no sense. We're going to crush that misconception today. You can't picture how you have the capacity to add a current retreat to what you already have on your to-do list. Like, amen. We hear this all the time from our clients, and I get it. Trust me, I totally understand. And we're going to kind of switch some mindset stuff today to help you guys understand that. Cool. Another type of person we hear all the time in our DMs and when we get on our first client calls is that you have a ping to host a retreat and you really want to do it, but it's your first time and that just feels way too intimidating. So people like to link arms and steal our brain when it comes to hosting their retreat. Also, you're in the early stages of educating yourself on the reality of retreats in your business. This is actually a very new conversation that we've been having quite a bit lately, of people saying, I really want to host a retreat. It's on my vision board, but I'm just in the early stages of educating myself. Don't worry, you have come to the right place. I got you. Or you would love to hire an agency to plan your retreat for you, but you kind of love the DIY process. Plus the fee that comes with an agency isn't totally in your budget right now. Well, then you're definitely in luck, because I am handing everything over to you guys. So you are in the right place, but this chat is popping off. So give me 2 seconds. I'm going to pop in and look at what you guys are saying. Okay. So, oh my God, my retreats will be for women 40 plus and will include some somatics practices as well as curative and therapeutic. Oh my God, can I come to that if I'm not 40 plus? Build community, connection, travel. My why is reach more women with in-person connection and transform lives. Yes, yes, yes. Create unique experiences, community, and make money. My kind of Anon 2765. My kind of person. Inspire people while living an inspiring life. Hi, my name is Crystal. I host retreats to get people out of the fear mindset and making people more alive in their life. Oh my God, I love it. To enable my virtual community to come together in real life, to add a revenue stream, to combine work and travel, and also I'm more of a sprinter than a marathoner, so I like the idea of some work being delivered. And ooh, talk to me more about that. That's fun. Okay, I'm going to say at the bottom right of the chat, there's a little thing that says set name. If you could put your name in there so I know who you are, because there's a lot of Anon numbers and I want to make sure I'm addressing you guys properly. Rhiannon, there's no different link, but make sure you're on Chrome and you've hit refresh and then play, and that should work. To create transformation, loving artist. As a person who works alone, I don't always get the social I need per day. I also suffer from pain from past injuries every day. Oh my God, me too. I know how many have the same, and I want to connect, have community, and sharing experiences. Oh my God, I actually want more information on your retreat because I suffer from post-concussion, so I feel like I need a community of people who get it. Yeah, info on legalities in Canada as a Canadian resident. Where in Canada are you located? Okay, if you can't change it, 4889. You're very active in the chat. What's your name? And I will remember it. I'm going to write this down. Cool. Okay, let's jump in. So clearly, all of what you guys just said very, very clearly shows me that you are ready to take your business to the next level and meet your people in person. And I'm excited to share all of our secrets with you guys today. But the first thing I want to say is that the real problem isn't actually that you don't know what you're doing. It's that you haven't implemented the secrets that I'm about to share with you. And as soon as you do know what you're doing and what the secrets are, it's going to be so much easier for you. And I cannot wait to share all of that with you. Melinda, where are you located? Okay, so like I said, the real problem is not that you don't understand what you're doing, because a lot of you get it. You're very in tune with your community and what you want to do. It's just that you haven't implemented the secrets. And then once you implement them, and I'm going to share them with you guys today, you're going to sell at your retreats with the most dreamy attendees. You're going to have people filling up your waitlist before your first retreat is even over. And you're going to turn your audience into raving fans. This is such an important part of the retreat planning process that I want you guys to pay attention to that specific point. Cool. You are also going to be able to add an additional revenue stream to your business with ease. You're going to understand exactly what it takes to bring your vision to life, and you're going to do this all while on a beach in Bali or wherever your vision is. If it's in the mountains in Colorado, on a beautiful castle in England, or wherever you guys want to host your retreats, wherever that is for you, you're going to be able to do all of that while implementing all of these secrets. So grab a pen and paper, and we are going to jump in. But before we do that, let's get to know each other really quickly. I want to quickly introduce myself and who I am, just so you guys understand that I am not just doing this for fun. I'm literally obsessed with the event industry, and it's all I've ever known. So I have been in the events and sponsorship world for 15 plus years. Yes, I started when I was like 10. Just kidding. I was featured as a next generation up and coming event planner by CMP Magazine in my early 20s. CMP is Canadian Meeting Professionals magazine. I was one of the features as a young up and coming planner, which was super exciting. I was also nominated for the RBC Canadian Women's of Entrepreneurship Award in the Women of Influence section. By 26, I was high-level management at one of Canada's 5 big banks, making multiple six figures and managing multi-million-dollar budgets. This is an important thing to pay attention to, because when I talk about making a profit and understanding your margins for events, it's not just because I made it up. We actually had formulas that we used to follow when I worked in the corporate world that I'm sharing with you guys. And then last but not least, I'm obsessed with helping business owners and entrepreneurs add retreats to their business and not leaving those profits to the big Fortune 500 companies. When I used to work at these companies, every event was either a profit goal of $250K plus, and we, again, followed this formula and we shared it, and I'm sharing it with you guys. Cool. Any questions? I'm going to move on. Okay, so how I discovered these three secrets is because when I worked in the corporate industry, in the corporate world, we followed these formulas, and these formulas got us to the goal and to the success margin that we always wanted to get to, because it was a super simple plug and play process. And then I left the corporate world and I started my own company, and I realized that there was such a big gap between what was happening in the corporate world and the profit margins and the goals and the sponsorships and all of the money and all of the seamless retreats and events and conferences and all of that stuff that was happening. And there was such a big gap between the, I want to say, mindset of the online coaching space, because every conversation I was having was, I want to have a retreat in Bali, but that's just not possible for me, or I don't know where to start, or that's that profit goal is not possible, and it is. So I was like, I got to come up with something, a formula, a process, or something to get this into the hands of my people in the online space. So are you guys ready? The secret number one is that you think the problem is that you need to sell more tickets, and that's actually not true. You need to stop focusing on selling more because it just does not work. And bear with me, I promise you this is all going to be pulled into the profit side of the event. Just trust me on this one. So cold marketing when it comes to retreats is such an ick for me because I don't understand how people think it works. Here's the thing. I personally would like to attend a retreat this year, and I am in the active phase of connecting with an online coach or an online community or an online business that I feel very aligned with so that I can spend time digesting their content, engaging with them in the DMs, having them nurture me and really make me feel like I'm going to make a good decision in purchasing the retreat is not going to be off of a cold advertisement. It's not going to be off of me hearing them on a podcast one time. It's going to take intentional effort for them to sell me on that retreat ticket. So I want you guys to get into the mindset of the people that you're selling to. Stop trying to get in front of cold audiences. Stop trying to spread yourself really thin and sell 100 tickets. Instead, I want you focusing on doing the best and the most that you can to understand the current audience that you have and make them say yes. We're going to touch on audience in a minute, but that is a very important part, is stop thinking about needing to sell more. So the reason that less is more is because, like I was saying, we see so many people, we've had this conversation with our clients, that they try and get in front of new audiences and they spread themselves and their marketing way too thin. What I mean by this is they're either spending all this money on Facebook ads, or they are relying on affiliate marketing or influencer marketing or speakers to help sell the tickets to their retreats. And it just doesn't work. Like, we have seen it all the time where then our clients start to get frustrated with the speakers at their event because they're not holding up their end of the bargain. And it's like, it's not their responsibility to sell your retreat. It's your responsibility to sell your retreat and understand the people that you're selling it to. The reason, and then number two is the reason that why focusing on strategy and alignment is going to make you more money is because you are going to instead understand your audience so much more that it makes it an easy yes. So I want you to take a step back for a second and take a look at the current audience that you have and really be honest with yourself in, are you currently marketing to them in a way that feels authentic? Because when you do launch this big retreat at them, and when I say big retreat, I don't mean cost a lot or it's this massively planned event, but retreats, the word retreat just is like a whole other mindset thing. And when someone gets marketed retreat, there's so much that goes into it. How am I going to get there? What's cost included? What does my safety look like? Are they going to take care of me? Is it going to be worth the money? Like, there's so much that people think about when they think about retreat. So you have to like pre-market to them in a very authentic way so that when you launch that retreat, you know that it is for them. Cool. Number two, I want you guys to follow this 3-part framework, and I'm going to spend the most time in this section here because it is the most important. And there's 3 pillars to this framework. The first pillar is understanding your audience and building the retreat for them. So this piggybacks on the first point, but we're going to go more in depth here. Getting very clear on your retreat numbers and making them work for you. This is where we talk about budget and profit. And then planning a Vibey event and event attendee experience. So we're going to talk about all 3 of these pillars. Are you guys ready? Okay, so the number one thing I want you guys to think about, well, it's 3 number one things, but this solution here is understanding that if you don't get these sections right and you blow ahead and you start thinking about the logistics and the agenda and the cute little gifting or how cute the long table at sunset's going to look, like, that's beautiful. And we're going to get to that point, and that is very important. But if you don't first look at this, I can promise you, you are not going to make money from your retreat because it all comes together. I see it on a daily basis. We work with our clients on it and we help them change their mindset. So what I mean by understanding your audience is, I mentioned earlier about spreading yourself too thin and why that doesn't work. Now, I want you guys to focus on the people that you have and understand that these people are actively choosing to put you in their little corner of the internet. Like, listen, we all are so overwhelmed by who we're following on social media, and we can be very selective on unfollow, mute, delete, block. They're actively choosing to have you in their corner of the internet. They're ready to support you. They already support you. They want to engage with you. So if they see you spending all this time advertising and marketing to people that aren't them, they're going to wonder, well, do I even belong here? And you don't want that to be the case. You want them to really, really think that you have put intention behind your retreat and that it is created for them. So what I mean by this is clarity about their buying patterns. A, have they purchased from you before? If they have, what was that price point? Was it a $57 downloadable workbook, or was it a $2,500 coaching program? Was it nothing? Have you not had any financial exchange with you and your audience? If you haven't, I want you guys to get a little bit deeper and start to think more about, okay, why does it feel right to go from charging nothing to charging 1,000 plus, 2,000 plus, 10,000 plus, whatever you're charging for your retreat? And what makes you think that they're going to say yes if you haven't already understood that buying relationship with them? The other thing is they currently trust you. Like I said before, they've chosen to have you in their world. So don't screw that up. Don't start to market to other people and make them feel offended, and then you have to rebuild the trust. Make sure that you're curating this audience for them, this retreat for them. What that means is ask them questions, understand what they're comfortable spending money on. Are you starting local before you go international? Really understand your audience and make them trust you that you are building this out for them. And then clarity on your retreat numbers. This is where we see so many people go wrong. People focus on their numbers after they launch their retreat, and I don't quite understand how that's possible, but I want you guys focusing on your retreat numbers from day one. It is literally like the second conversation we have with clients is, what are your profit goals? We don't wait until we've signed the client and we like lock them in and do all that type of stuff. It's literally number 2 question. What are your profit margins and what are you looking to make on this event? So you want to make sure that you are taking a few things into account. There's a lot of stuff that you guys are going to understand as you start to build out your retreat that goes into it. There is food and beverage, transportation, insurances, accommodation, gifting, marketing. Like, that's just off the top of my head. You have to make sure that you are understanding those expenses before you even decide what you want to charge your tickets. So understand all of your expenses. Plug it into a formula that says expenses. Again, this is going to vary per expense. Understand the hard cost per person, and then you're going to want to go from there, and it should spit out what you want to charge for your retreat. If you don't know those numbers, don't worry, we'll walk you through that later. But event planners focus on this all the time before they launch their events. So a couple things that I want you guys to understand that event planners focus on before they even launch their retreats or events or conferences is, 1, attrition deadlines and contract clauses. This is the number 1 area that you guys, it breaks my heart, to be honest, because as event planners, we're trained and educated on what attrition is and contract clauses that you can put in a contract to protect you. And these are things that the online space doesn't worry about. We typically see, people sign contracts without properly reviewing them or have a lawyer review them. And I see the contract and I just want to cry because I'm like, this is not okay. So understand what an attrition deadline is. Attrition is essentially, let's say you sign a contract for 20 rooms and you have a 20% allowable attrition, you can drop 20% without penalty. And then you plan that into your calendar of when you want to launch your retreat. So you have to understand you need to sell a certain amount of tickets by a certain point before you can drop some rooms and save your budget and refocus on things. So understand those numbers before you launch. I want you contracting your venue and understanding that whole process before you even launch. Same thing with contract clauses, understanding I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not going to even pretend to give you legal advice here. We work with a lawyer that helps us with all of our contracts, but just make sure that the contract clauses never, here's a pro tip, never send a contract as it comes from a venue because they are trying to protect themselves and we want you guys to protect you. Cool. Another thing to Abby, I'm going to get to your question in 2 seconds as soon as I finish this. I don't want to lose this train of thought. This is a little secret that we work with on our team all the time is we call it the holy shit fund. Excuse my language. But this is really understanding your hard cost per person before you add your markup, before you add what you want to add into it to make a profit. Your holy shit number should be your deposit that's non-refundable. Because at the end of the day, if that person defaults on payments, they decide not to come, blah, blah, blah. There's like 100 reasons why. Trust me, we have seen the 100 reasons why people can't come to a retreat. You have still collected that non-refundable deposit that you can then put towards that hard cost that you are on the line and contracted for. And then what we see a lot of clients do and what we coach them to do is to instead apply that amount to like an online coaching or do some like follow-up calls with them or something so that they're still getting the value from working with you. And then what event planners always think about to ensure that they make a profit is understanding the flexible costs and what can move with you guys in the retreat planning process. So if you start to notice your tickets are dipping down or you're not hitting the sales targets that you really want to hit, then you can start to say, okay, where are we pulling money back? Can we reduce AV? Can we reduce cost per person? Can we change how many people? Like there's so much that you have to understand. And that's like the secret that event planners work on is understanding the flexibility in numbers in your budget, and that the first budget you make is never the budget that you end up with. It always has to be flowy and understanding the whole process behind that. If you don't know these numbers, if you don't know your expenses versus your profit margins, what you want to charge for tickets, what your attendees are comfortable spending, pause your retreat planning process and figure this out right now. If that freaks you out, don't worry. We can teach you and we can work with you and help you guys understand those numbers. But I want to caution you on moving forward if you aren't clear on that type of stuff. I don't want to see you guys launch your retreat and not understand the numbers beside it. Before I move on to number 3, Abby, there is a program. Stay tuned. That's all I can say. Okay. And then the third part of this first pillar is making your retreat vibey. What I mean by this is your attendee experience starts from the second they land on your checkout page. Do they feel supported? Are the questions that they have in their head answered on that checkout page? Do they feel inspired? Are they ready to say yes and see what comes next? Because they're like, oh my God, this checkout page is amazing. This is like, they're thinking about me. And this is the one thing we say to our clients all the time, stop thinking about yourself and focus on what your attendee experience looks like and how they're feeling throughout the process. So you need to make it a vibe from that second. Don't think about after they purchase and then maybe you'll do this and maybe you'll do that. Before you launch your tickets, it needs to be a vibey experience so that as soon as they make that purchase, are they getting an automated email? Are they feeling supported? What does your communication with them look like? What information are you gathering from them to make them feel very supported? Like really, 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 really get clear on what that whole vibe understand. Like that you understand that whole flow to make the experience vibey. When I say making it vibey, I don't necessarily mean the retreat. That's going to come. We're going to make your Pinterest board come to life, but this is the attendee experience I'm talking about that I want it to be vibey. And then the second section here is to be clear on what they will get when they purchase. Do not be shady and say like X, Y, and Z, and then only deliver on X and Y. You have to obviously be very clear there. But from that point, I want you guys doing as much as possible to wow them at every single interaction. Like, are the emails branded? Are they automated? Does it go to a form where you're collecting like dietary restrictions? Like there's so much that is going to make your attendee feel so valued that that's what you have to focus on. Moving on. Melinda, did I understand correctly? The Holy Shit Fund should be the non-refundable deposit from the attendees. The Holy Shit Fund should include the non-refundable deposit from attendees, correct? We always add in a substantial miscellaneous section into our budget so that if something pops up like an extra event insurance or you just get a really cool idea that you want to add, you have it in your repertoire, budget, whatever the heck you want to call it. 9 times out of 10, we don't spend that miscellaneous and it ends up being profit on top of the profit we've already built in for our clients. And then number 3 is, this is another secret that we as corporate event planners, agency-wide event planners, like to keep in our little back pocket, is that if you do all of that right, if you follow that whole process and you are making your attendees feel very valued, they feel supported, you've priced your tickets accordingly, you've created an incredible experience, you are going to get repeat buyers no matter what. It's a science, it is a formula, it's going to happen. They will repeatedly buy your retreat tickets. It's just going to happen. And then what happens when you see this retreat ticket come through again is, A, you're going to get deposits for the next retreat already. So your budget is taken care of. You can spend less time on marketing and more time on creating the experience and really pull together this amazing event, and then spend more time leveling it up instead of focusing on like trying to find more people or get more sales. You're going to instead focus on making it better and growing on it and making it more impactful for your attendees. So if you follow that framework, you'll get repeated buyers. If you don't follow that framework, and we see it happen all the time, we've had conversations this week of people in our DMs asking for support on, they haven't sold tickets, they don't know what to do, they've launched their retreat, and now they're kind of stuck. There is a formula to retreats. And this is what irks me about the industry, is everyone just makes it seem like they're so light and fluffy to plan and launch a retreat, when the reality is it is a beast and it has to be followed by a formula. So today I promised clarity on the shifts you need to make. The secret to pricing your tickets is actually not coming up with a price that feels good. You have to understand what are your hard costs and how to add on a little bit of markup that feels comfortable in order to make the profit margins that you want. What you're doing wrong with your retreat marketing, please stop trying to get in front of cold audiences and focus on the one that you've got instead, and why understanding your audience is vital to your retreat success. You don't want to launch a retreat that is 10 times more expensive than they can afford. You have to understand what they're looking for and what they're comfortable with in order to get that yes from them. Now, what you need to win in the world of retreats, I want you to stop thinking about more and instead be very intentional and use a strategy when you're building out your retreats. There are strategies everywhere that you can find. We have found that the one I just shared with you works for all of our clients. We have seen 100K profits from these formulas that we follow. I promise you they work. Understanding the clarity on your audience. Like I have said 100 times, what are they comfortable spending? Do you currently have a purchase relationship with them? Understand that whole flow and that relationship before you even launch your retreat. Understand your numbers. What are your hard expenses? What are your flexible expenses? What is your holy shit fund? Understand exactly what you need to make this retreat doable. Some of our clients honestly say, I just want to break even. And then other clients say, I want to make 100 grand. And both of them are doable. And then make them fall in love with you by understanding that from that second that they are on your wait list to the second they show up at your retreat, it is an experience. There needs to be automations and branding and support and communication and response times. And all of that stuff is going to lead into an amazing experience. And it is going to fill up your wait list, get deposits, and then crush your next event so that you can spend less time on all of that stuff and more time on scaling, leveling up, and making your retreat more impactful. Okay, now you have 2 choices. You can take what I just taught you and implement it on your own, or we can do it with you. We can hand over everything that we see successful with our retreat clients, literally all the time, and give you the templates, processes, our entire event planner's playbook. We're willing to hand over to you guys. I have been doing this for 15 years, and it has been so fun to help our clients and support our clients in their retreats. And we sat down as a team last year and realized that we wanted to help and impact more people. And how could we do that? So we literally put together a playbook, and a very strategic and impactful, template heavy, perfect little playbook that we are handing over to you. And this is why we created your retreat co-pilot, which is our step-by-step blueprint to properly bring your retreat to life, even if you have no idea what you're doing. So we are going to walk you guys through the process, templates, everything, that you guys need. Because truthfully, I created this course because all of the last minute 911 calls that we were getting from clients in our DMs of people needing legit SOS support because they launched before understanding their numbers and there is no way that they're going to profit. And in a lot of ways, they've lost money and they've come to us saying, hey, I'm 20 grand in the hole. Can you save me? And the reality is, like, if you don't follow this process, it's really hard to go backwards and fix it. Instead, we are like, let's just follow it from the beginning. Let's just make sure that they understand exactly what needs to happen from day one in order to make this profit. Or if profit's not their goal, they just want to travel the world, then that is amazing. Then we give the templates and formulas to help you hit that. A lot of the conversations we've been having that led to this course were that, like I said, they launched their retreats and nobody bought a ticket. And now they're like, I'm on the hook for a hotel contract, an Airbnb contract. And they're like, I just need help. So we help with that whole process. A lot of them felt very overwhelmed by the planning process and had no clue where to start. One other conversation that actually has been super interesting in our DMs is that people want help and they want support, but they still want to DIY it. They still want that creative energy and that creative flow, because at the end of the day, nobody is going to build your retreat as perfect and as beautiful and as amazing as you are and as incredible as we are. And as much as I love the process that we've created, we are not in your brain understanding the little nuances and stuff. So the best person to plan your retreat for you is actually you, following our process. So we created a program called Your Retreat Copilot. And I'm going to share a little bit about it with you because I'm so excited and I think it's going to create so much impact. We shared a little bit about it earlier this week and people have already like booked calls with us and they're just freaking out excited, which is so fun to see that we can support more people. So this course is for anybody who wants to add that additional revenue stream into their business using our proven formula. Copy, paste, success. Like, there's not much work that you guys have to do other than like extracting the idea and vision from your brain and putting it into our templates to make this successful. Anyone who doesn't want to stress about selling tickets and instead just let it be easy, we share with you the process, advice, templates, everything to make that successful. You want an agency-worthy retreat without the agency price tag. I totally get that. Like I said earlier, we do plan retreats full-time for our clients as well. And it's fun. We love it. We're obsessed with it, but we totally understand that's not accessible for everyone. So we wanted to create a more accessible option to support more people. And you want the ease of stealing our 50 plus done for you templates and literally copying your numbers and popping it in there and teaching you how to make that profit. So in the pre-boarding module of our course, we're going to create this blueprint with you. So understanding exactly what you want your attendee journey to look like, how we're going to turn your community into raving fans. We're going to look at your entire vision for your retreat, understand exactly what needs to be done, step-by-step checklists. I promise you, we've got you covered in module 1. This is an important module because we're going to get into the mindset work of your attendees. Like, again, we're going to help you understand their buying patterns. We're going to help you understand exactly what they're looking for. And then we'll move on to, like I said before, second question we ask is profit, budget, numbers. All of this stuff gets figured out in module 2. This gets figured out before we go on to any second, third, fourth, fifth part of the process, because this is an incredibly important part of the retreat planning process. We're going to give you everything in this template. We're also going to be there with you, coaching you guys, helping you understand numbers, profit, like what your profit margin is, if it's doable. Our whole team will be there working with you in that section. In the next section, we're going to look at this marketing plan. So what are you doing? What do you not want to do? What's going to fit within your current business? Understanding exactly what you need to do in order to sell your tickets to the right person. We're going to give you our templates. You literally integrate your retreat, or you integrate our templates into your retreat launch, and it's going to help you guys scale and plan and launch and sell out your retreat. And then in this next section, we're going to pick all of your partners, your agenda, this is like the meaty section where we're like, think about it when you're in flight, you put on airplane mode and you just like get in the zone. In this section, we are going to really map out the entire attendee journey, transfers, gifting, agenda, like all that type of stuff will be worked out in this module. And again, we're handing over every template we have. Our whole team will be in there answering questions, coaching, calls, all that stuff with you guys to make sure that you are literally getting us one-on-one. In the prepare for arrival module, this is where we are going to take everything that we just learned. We are going to pull it all together. We're going to give you our pre-arrival checklist are, we call them our event binder templates. What needs to be prepared? What are you saying to suppliers? What are you following up with? Like, there's so much I could share with you guys right now, but I'm going to keep this to the next 4 minutes. And this section is, I was going through the templates in building this course out, and I was like, this is amazing. It's going to be super easy for you guys to literally lock and load. And then in this section, we're going to walk you through exactly what needs to happen on site. What are you saying to your suppliers? What is going to happen in the case of a holy shit moment when something pops up? Have you pre-protected yourself with things like attendee waivers or event insurance? Or are you working with suppliers that have the proper regulations and all that type of stuff? We're going to give you all of that in this section and make sure that you are like getting on that plane, ready to go. Your attendees feel communicated with, and it is a super easy process for you guys to follow. And then in our last module, we're going to teach you how to rinse, repeat, and get those people on your wait list or already putting deposits down for the next retreat. If you steal our post-event process, it is going to be super easy for you guys to just plug and play, make it easy, and get these tickets sold, wait list full. We see it happen all the time, and we're literally handing it over to you. When I was sharing this with my lawyer, like a while back, building the course, she was like, no. She's like, you're handing over 15 years of intellectual property. And I was like, yeah, because I just want to create impact, and I want everyone to be able to have these incredible retreats. And we just don't have capacity to take everybody on. And people love the DIY process. So we're just going to give it to everybody. Okay. Now I want to chat with everybody that was super in the chat earlier, talking about why they're hosting their retreats and what they're doing. Here is the roadmap of what is included in the course. Done for you templates. Every single one of the templates that our event planners use on a daily basis are being put in this course. Our member community, exclusive access to our members only community as like-minded business owners. Plus, you're going to get coaching directly with me each bi-weekly, and then you can just pop into the chat at any point, ask us questions, team support. I will be there. If you have a document you want reviewed, you hand that over to us and we'll review it for you. Like, we are very much actively involved. It's like you have us in your pocket planning the event for you, but instead we're just guiding you on how to do it. As well, you can pick our brains with things like understanding, or if you need a supplier introduction, or you just don't know the answer to a question, we're right there to help you. One-on-one coaching from a pro, so dedicated support from our event planners every single step of the way. What's going to happen is there is going to be an onboarding call specifically with me. I'm going to understand your business, what you want to get out of this, what your profit goals are. I'm the one coaching in the program, so you will get that first onboarding call with me. We'll help you understand your entire process, what you need to get out of the course. And then before you launch, we have an option too, if you guys would like to get on a call with our pre-launch planner, who is the freaking genius. And she will go through your entire pre-launch plan with you, making sure your automations are set up and making sure that like you just have that extra level of security before you launch your retreat tickets, that a planner has seen it, has made any course corrects that need to happen or any of that type of stuff. And then again, we're going to take you through our entire budget, profit planning, all that type of stuff. Plus, we're going to hand over all of the scripting on top of the template. So if you don't know what to say to a supplier, if you don't know what to say to your attendee, if you don't know like any of the perfect scripting, you can see the document there. It's like just plug and play. So you just change the name and do all that type of stuff. Plus, I'm going to hand over our profit projection calculator on exactly how you guys are going to lock in those budgets and those profit goals. So that's all being handed over to you. So you're going to get all of those 7 modules, the templates, the online community, the coaching, the support. You can see here, there's going to be an online portal where you're going to have your education with videos. Like it's so broken down that at no point will you have a 45-minute long video. It will be, here's a section with a video that corresponds to a training template so that you can skip ahead at any point that you want to go to a certain section of the training. Now, all of this together with the modules, the group coaching calls, the scripting bundle, templates is over $20,000 worth of value. But the cost today, we're giving you $1,000 off on the webinar, and it's only $29.97. Plus, we have some payment plan options where if you pay in full today, it's $2,997 or 5 monthly payments of $619. We wanted to make this super accessible for everybody to get in the course, understand how to profit from their retreats and how to make an impact. Now, I really want to respect your time. So a couple of quick conversations we've been having in our DMs. That top one, a client asked us to plan out 100K profit from her retreat. And spoiler alert, we hit it. She profited. On the right, we were talking with a client. We had just landed their dream sponsor. That was a $25,000, excuse me, $25,000 sponsor. So they were clearly a little bit excited. The one client where she says, "Did you say profit? Merry Christmas" to me. Her original goals were to break even, but through careful consideration and looking at her budget, we were able to profit. And like I said earlier, how we relooked at numbers and changed things around throughout the process. This is what happened here. The bottom one was after another call with a sponsor and how we could realign to make sure that the retreat was hitting their vision. And then on the bottom right, this was an on-site message we got from a client when we saved something on site for them. So all of that, you can find more information if you want at this website. I'm going to pop it in the chat for you guys. Actually, it's just below if you want to scroll down. But the other thing that we are doing is I'm opening up my calendar to have 15-minute calls. If you think this program might be for you, but you have a couple questions or you want to pick my brain, book in directly into my calendar. They're filling up, so definitely get that link and book a call, and we can chat through if this is going to be the right fit for you. And then we can go from there. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll hang out here for a couple more minutes. I know we're a little bit over. How many members are in the community? So we are currently open for enrollment. We just opened literally today. So we won't know until next Friday, but that will be determined by the time they open. Or sorry, the doors close next Friday. Does anybody have any other questions? Anything that you want to pick my brain while I'm here? Otherwise, I will be sending an email out with this link to book a call with me. And then we can chat further about it and see if it's going to be a good fit for you. Any questions? Let me know what you guys thought. Did you get any takeaways? Any specific questions about the training? I am here. No? Okay, no problem. I am going to sign off so that I can keep. Can I talk about sponsors? Yes. What do you want to know about sponsors? How to land them, how to communicate with them, we talk about sponsors in the course as well. How to, yeah, 100%. Yes, sponsors are interested in working with people of any sizes. It just depends on the sponsor. I mean, it honestly truly depends on your community, your aligned sponsorships. Like we've seen sponsors come on. And then it also depends on what kind of sponsor. Are you looking for a gifting sponsor? Are you looking for financial sponsors? Like there's a whole strategy behind sponsorship. But it is something we talk about in the course, and it is totally possible depending on the side of the, oh, great question. The discount code is retreat. Thank you. Yes, pitching, pricing, Abby, we give scripting, all that type of stuff. Like literally everything you need to know for event sponsorship, we're going to be giving to you guys. So the code is retreat to get your $1,000 off. I know you cannot purchase parts of the package. It comes as a package deal, but what you can do is that you can purchase the course and then jump ahead to a certain section. You can go all in on one section, just come to the training calls and message us in our community, asking specific things about those parts. What some people have wanted to do is purchase just the templates. And honestly, if you purchase the templates outside of the course, it's more expensive. So they purchase the course and just use the templates and they don't come to any of the training calls. Like that's totally fine. But it has been created as a package in order to create more impact for you guys. These are great questions. And yeah, Abby, in terms of pitching sponsorships and partnerships for events, that is something that we are very knowledgeable on. I have a whole separate course on that, but there will be that included in this course as well from an event focus. How to do deliverables and how to pitch and what to offer and how to say things and all that type of stuff will be included in this course. Any other questions for me? We do have two surprise retreat survival boxes going out to anyone that purchases in the next couple of days. It will go out, it'll be shipped next week. So if you want to be on that surprise list, you can check more information out below. And as usual, if you have any questions, I'm going to put this link back in the chat to see for you guys to book a call. Thank you so much for joining today. This was so much fun. I hope you guys got value out of it. And as always, if you have any questions, my DMs are open.